transition to round two. You talk about that live for today attitude. When he was 6 years old, he lost his mother, Stacy. He was 16 rather, lost his mother, Stacy. She was tragically hit by a car when walking, and it just really changed his life, understandably so. And this guy just gets after it and wasting no time, Chael, living on the legs.
Yeah, it's a great shot if he can convert this. He needs to put BB onto his hip. He's working to do it there.
Nice sprawl by Connor BB, looking for the go behind.
Now Johnny pops his head to the outside, gonna cut across on a double leg. He's in position to score here.
Johnny was thinking about getting greedy. He was thinking about standing to his feet and trying to plant him for a 4-point feet to back. I think this is a smart move. Take the quick two where you can get him. Look right for a gut wrench. BB steps over.
BB steps over looking for a foul. And then Julius is able to fight off his back.
Oh,
and that got the crowd into this.
Looking for his own gut wrench. Connor BB trying to turn him.
5-2 score. Talking to Johnny earlier today, he said, you know what, Shane? I'll probably be pretty tired, so pace is going to be big as this match progresses, looking for a bow and arrow. And he's able to run Julius over for 2 more, and all of a sudden, we got ourselves a 1-point match with 50 to go in this second period.
Nice, but it's not quite what you think under the freestyle.
And that's what makes freestyle so fun, is things can turn on a dime. Freestyle wrestling, and you know this, Chael, when it's 9-0, make no mistake, you are not safe. You are under attack. You are in deep waters, and sharks are circling right now on Johnny DeJulius.
Johnny's doing a great job of getting to the single. He keeps coming back to this. When he brings his head to the middle, ends up in that submarine position, it's a little more difficult to finish. Right here, Johnny needs to, in my opinion, come above the knee with his right hand. When you stay down on the shoe, it allows the opponent to spin. That can create a problem.
Nicely done again for Connor BB. For that go behind if he can get that leg free.
Well, reset with 12 seconds. Crowd doesn't like it again. Big contingency of fans here supporting Connor BB.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is this like his hometown? I noticed when he came out, this place went crazy for BB.
BB trained School of Wrestling about a half an hour away, said his college coach Tom Borelli. The legend was down in Florida. He was going to show up tonight. And what a great way, Juliana, to start this first match.
Yeah, Connor BB actually is the wrestling coach of Chase Bronstein, Chad Bronstein, founder of RAF, and I know that all of his students are here to support him, so he's definitely got the hometown advantage here, and man, it's that quick, the reversal to be able to get on top there. I thought it was going to be a pin.
Here's that bow and arrow just cranking away.
Well, it's a very nice setup. Generally, you get your leg involved there. He did it without a leg, but he had such pressure and torque on the back that Johnny had to expose. And I wonder where conditioning does play in. I mean, Johnny told you ahead of time, Shane, that a high-paced match can be a problem. This is a high-paced match.
You look at the body language. Connor BB appears to be very fresh. DeJulius, stationary, center of the mat, and here we go in this third period. DeJulius once led it 5-0, but BB has stormed back. And there's a shot into a front headlock position. Straight on shot, no angle there from BB.
See if he can arm drag out of that. That would be nice.
DeJulius creeps his head underneath that right shoulder of BB, and we're back to our feet. RAF 07. RAF sizzling coast to coast. Tough act to follow. RAF 06 was incredible in Arizona. Here's Johnny DeJulius once again on the legs.
Absolutely, going back to the well with that single leg. Johnny driving, he gets reversed. Feet to back for Connor BB.
BB is going to take a 3-point lead here. Wow.
I believe, guys, they gave it 4 red. It was 4 red awarded to DeJulius. No challenges in Real American Freestyle. That was feet to back. 4 moves for Johnny DeJulius. It was his move on that chest wrap.
Johnny right back in on this single.
Trying to pull that leg into him.
And right now, Chael, if you're Johnny, you want to hang on the legs. These are time hogs for Connor BB.
He's still got to beat BB, but more than anything, right now, he's just got to beat the clock. And he keeps going back to that single. I got to say, Johnny hasn't missed on this single all night. That has really been a great attack for him.
Holding on to that left leg of Connor BB.
Trying to break that wrist control, trying to unlock those hands on that single. Connor BB trying to sprawl. It's not working. He's asking the ref, help me out, stand me up. He's not doing anything.
59 seconds remaining.
Conor goes in for a shot. Nice block.
I need you to talk louder, John.
Nice peek for Conor Beebe.
He's got to convert here to 2. Get that second leg, and he's going to score.
Julius holding on to that toe for dear life.
Beebe trying to put some points on the board, but we are down to just a half a minute remaining.
30 seconds, still a lot of wrestling time left. There he goes for it. He gets a 2.
9-6. He needs a couple of turns. He's got 20 seconds to work with.
He's got to go quick. He's going back to the bow and arrow.
Scored earlier with this bow and arrow. Going to settle in. Down to 10 seconds. Good parterre defense from Johnny DeJulius.
Ooh. Whoever's running that time needs to be very careful because he only got 10 seconds left. He's got to go for broke.
Great job there by Johnny DeJulius to drop in on the legs once again.
He's getting his payback for Conor cornering against him all those years ago.
Johnny DeJulius in the first of 11 matches here tonight. Victorious. The 33-year-old knocks off Conor Beebe 9-6. Got off to a quick start.
And not without a little controversy. That 4-point exchange, depending on interpretation, could go either way, but this one goes for Johnny. Winner 9-6.
Let's send it to Ben Askren. Ben, what do you think about that 4-point move? What do you think about the call?
What's up, Shane? Hope you guys have a great time. I disagree with this call. This is not a place that a person falls from a single leg. You see Conor Beebe set his foot down and throw him. You can't throw someone from a single leg. So I think under no way, shape, or form is this Johnny's move. I would have went 4 for Beebe for sure.
I agree with that. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Thank you, Ben. We'll check in with you throughout the night. And once again, let's go to Jazz.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 3 periods and a final score of 9-6, your winner, Johnny DeJulius.
Johnny DeJulius, 9-6. Gets a call to go his way. There's a big toss from DeJulius. Four championships on the line tonight. Wyatt Hendrickson, the reigning champion. He'll battle Trent Hilger. For the first time tonight, let's check in with Abby Hornacek.
Guys, all right. This energy here is absolutely electric in this arena. And let me tell you, this all started earlier today at the fan zone around noon. Some of these kids were there today. Were you guys there? That's right. So you look at these kids and you think, what is driving the momentum behind this sport? And yes, there are top athletes from the world that we love watching on the mat, but it really is the fans driving the success of this forward. And you don't really get that unprecedented access to the athletes in other professional sports. That really sets RAF apart. And a little hot tip for anyone who's planning on going to the next fan zone, Kyle Dake told me today that he is willing to stay for 3+ hours. If he hasn't reached everyone and hasn't taken photos or signed autographs, he will stay so that he makes sure that you get what you want. So really cool at the fan zone. A lot to look forward to tonight. And Shane, one of these days, we might see some of these kids on the mat at RAF. How cool would that be?
I love it when the young fans come out. They're able to see it, smell it, they're able to believe it. And yes, everybody starts someplace. RAF 07. Play RAF for cash. Make picks on the number of takedowns for a chance to win. Scan the flow code or use code FREESTYLE to get an exclusive bonus and make your picks.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your Real American Freestyle pride. Official Real American Freestyle kits, hats, trading cards are available now. Don't miss out. Grab your piece of RAF history before items sell out.
Light heavyweight matchup with Pat Downey and Trent Hidley. Pat Downey, 33 years old. He'll be 34 in August. And Pat Downey looking for some redemption.
American Freestyle merch. Available online or in person. Don't miss your chance to take a piece of
where winning isn't enough. For Pat Downey, tonight is that point. He arrived the same way he's always lived. Loud, fearless, unapologetic.
I lock my hands. I'll take anybody in the world down.
When he won, people paid attention.
I told you. I told you.
When he lost, the noise faded.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Double leg 4, and that's it. That is a technical fall 12-0.
Not because Pat Downey couldn't compete, but because the weight of expectation became heavier than the moment itself. Then came the quiet. Not headlines, not crowds, just mornings, mats, and mirrors. Because real competitors aren't built with applause. They're rebuilt in the hours no one sees. And in that quiet, a decision, not to be forgiven, not to be rewritten, but to be better. Pat Downey doesn't wrestle to be liked. He wrestles to be honest. Every exchange is accountability. This isn't about erasing the past. It's about earning the future. Because the most dangerous man on the mat isn't the one chasing noise. It's the one done running from himself.
I'm not here to fix who I was. I'm here to prove who I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move to the Real American Freestyle Light Heavyweight Division. Making his way to the mat, IBJJF World Champion, 10-time World Olympics Trials Qualifier from Palm Beach, Florida. Here is BD3, the Lizard King, Pat Downey.
The Lizard King, Pat Downey, a junior college national champion at Iowa Central Community College. Ended up at Iowa State, where he was an All-American for the Cyclones in 2016. He was 5th at 197. And he has a tall task tonight.
2025 Senior World Champion, 5-time NCAA All-American, wrestling out of Raleigh, North Carolina, presenting Trent Hidley.
Trent Hidley, the world champion in Shale. He didn't win just a world title. It was an epic comeback. He trailed 10-2, came back and won 13-10 over Gazi Magomedov of Russia. He became a legend on that day.
You can argue who the best wrestler is, and we ultimately decide that by who's got more points. But if you want to talk about who the toughest guy in the world was on that specific day, you're looking at him right there. That guy outfought everybody.
This match is brought to you by Spartans.com, the official online gaming partner of Real American Freestyle. Scan now or go to Spartans.com to play. Trent Hidley, an amazing college career at NC State. 4-time All-American for head coach Pat Popolizio, 2-time finalist. A 4-time ACC finalist. He won 4 ACC crowns. And Chael, when I look at Hidley, it's about position and pace. He will dig those underhooks. He lives. He pays a lot of bills with those, Chael.
Yeah, not to mention beating people appears to be like a family tradition. with he and his brother, but when it comes to that grind, when things get going hard and you've got to dig deep, I've been so impressed with how deep Hidley is willing to go.
Trent Hidley has the best underhook, like you said, Shane, that I have ever seen in my life. He wrote the book on it, and when you're that good at something, you kind of just only need one thing, and you just keep hammering it and winning. It's the meat and potatoes for the underhook with Trent that is really impressive. With that being said, Pat Downey has some great upper body locks, and if he can get one, he needs to send it, because otherwise Trent Hidley is going to be very dangerous here momentarily.
Downey 1 and 2 in RAF, and he's a fan favorite because he comes to fight. It is anytime, any place. Pat Downey shows up and he scraps.
Absolutely, Pat. We have, I believe this is his 5th match for RAF. We have asked him to go up against all giants, and he never says no. He never backs down. He always takes the match, and this is just another one where, yeah, the chips might be stacked up against him, but if anybody can do it, it's PD3.
I asked Nick Wisdowski, who coaches Trent Hidley, and I just said, what's so special about this guy? What makes him different? Why can he win world championships? And Nick said, because he likes the grind. He looks forward to the battle coming out. Scoring points is secondary to the fight itself. And when I watch Hidley, that's one thing that stands out for me. He really impresses. Oh, that old school Iowa mentality. And outwork your opponent.
And with that grind, like you're saying, Chio, I've never seen anybody that not only has that great underhook, but a gas tank. He has an awesome gas tank.
He's got about a 60-gallon gas tank. He runs on jet fuel and leads it 1-0 as Downey went on that 30-second shot clock, was unable to score, and because of that, a point to Hidley. Situation with it being 3 2-minute periods, a little bit different than UWW freestyle rules, and because of that, they will put somebody on the shot clock if it is scoreless after 60 seconds, and that was the case right there. Shale, what adjustments can Downey make to get to some of his offense?
I think Downey's being very smart. Every now and then, a match can get a little bit too tough where Downey's focused on MMA or he's focused on jiu-jitsu a little bit. It's one of those things where if he can eat up a little clock, save himself for rounds 2 and round 3, I think strategically that was exactly the round Downey wanted to have.
Trent Hidley, U23 World Silver in 2022, Junior World Bronze in 2019.
Punching that underhook. Ooh, and the push-out point for Hidley.
Step-out point for Hidley, leads it 2-0.
You can notice that Trent is starting to pick this pace up. He's starting to make this a little bit more of a battle.
Limp arm hard for Hidley.
That's 2.
And he leads it 4-0.
On top. That's right. He's going down below almost as though he's setting up a leg lace. But I suggest for you, he's just looking for Downey to come up a little bit. Trent's going to come right back up around that body.
Back to our feet. Good power tear defense from Pat Downey to keep it 4-0. And right off that whistle, you look at Hidley, digs up that underhook on the right side, taking territory.
Close to getting another step-out point is Hidley.
And there's a throw on the edge. And that is going to be 4 confirmed for Hidley, who now leads it 8-0, and he is a takedown away from a technical superiority.
That was strategic there by Downey, and he miscalculated the hand a little bit, but he knew he was either going to step out or he could go big right there. He was trying to get 4 points himself, ends up giving up the exposure. 4 points for the opponent.
Goes for that throw once again, and the same result, 4 points for Trent Hidley. It is a 12-0 technical superiority for Trent Hidley, who turned 27 out of Lewistown, Pennsylvania. The world champion at 92 kilos in 2025, won that title in Croatia. And he is impressive on this Saturday night in Tampa at RAF 07. Great with those underhooks.
Best underhook in the game, Shane. That underhook beat that whizzer. He took the back. That was nice.
One of the bright young superstars in the United States, Trent Hidley.
Yeah. He won a gold medal with an underhook.
Just really good body awareness.
Nice hips.
Understands the situation. He knows what Downey's trying to do. Just stayed heavy on that double, feet to back, a pair of 4-point moves. Jazz announces our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match is over with 48 seconds left in period number 2. A final score of 12-0. Your winner by technical fall, Trent Hidley.
All right, in our first day on television, somebody just informed me an interview is better if you turn the microphone on. But
this is media training for Chael 101. Come on.
As I was discussing with the world champion, the story of that match was really 2 4-point feet to backs. How'd you feel out there tonight?
Well, I felt great. I was telling Chael last RAF, I got really sick the week of. Didn't wrestle very well. I got the job done. But I knew coming into Tampa, the weather's beautiful, the food's good out here. I had to put on a show, and I said I was going to throw underhooks. I knew it would take probably to the second or third period, but there's nobody better in the world in that position than me. So if you're going to take that match, you've got to be ready for it.
All right, as we look to the future, is there anybody that you're hoping to get matched up with at Real American Freestyle?
You know, in terms of who I want to wrestle, I don't know exactly. I do have a little bit of a crazy idea for you, though. Are you ready for it?
I'm all ears.
My older brother just accepted the assistant coaching job at NC State. We're back reunited. What do you think about a tag team match? Me and Hidley Mania versus another group of 2.
I think that sounds like a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Do you want to see Trent and his older brother team up?
I'll tell you what, I never confirmed that with Hayden, but they'll be down.
Well, congratulations to you and to your brother who just got his first national champion. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the world champion, Trent Hidley.
An impressive performance for Trent Hidley. He said it. He's got the best underhooks in the world. A dominating victory, a 12-0 technical superiority for Trent Hoagie Hidley, a fan favorite here in Tampa.
I got 2 shirts. One of them signed by a mobile wrestler.
2 matches into her RAF career, the women's middleweight champion has yet to even surrender a point. Kennedy Blades is coming up next.
Kennedy, you said you're going to come to RAF and dominate, and so far you have. You're undefeated. Is that streak going to continue this Saturday night?
Yeah, honestly, 100%. My confidence level is so high because it's like, all right, it's game time, it's go time, let's go dominate. My goal always, every time I walk on the mat, is to dominate. You know, of course we all want to win, but dominating, no one can really say like, oh, she got lucky or, you know, just the stuff like that. So Saturday night, yes, I will be dominating.
Wear what the athletes are wearing tonight and score some exclusive RAF 07 merchandise. Scan now to unlock 15% off your order. The offer is good until April 4th, so be sure to act now.
Last one. I promise you and the others, we got you covered.
Middleweight championship with Kennedy Blades and Milana Dudieva is coming up. But first, it's David Mursula and Jason Nolf. Nolf, a 3-time NCAA champion at Penn State. Gold at 2020 Pan Am Championships. Looking forward to that matchup. Jazz with the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is in the Real American Freestyle Middleweight Division. Please welcome A1 Combat Champion, wrestling out of Ossetia, Russia, David
I gotta tell you, if you get a call at the last second and it's Eric Bischoff and he says, we'd like you to fill in with no preparation on no notice and your opponent is Jason Knoll, you gotta have a lot of courage to say yes, and that young man apparently is the face of courage.
Of course he has that courage. He is the A1 Combat Champion, and although he took the match on short notice, he's a 6-0 pro. Do you think a 6-0 pro is gonna back down when he's offered an opportunity and a challenge like going up against the great Jason Knoll? I don't think so.
And his opponent, Olympic trials finalist, 3-time NCAA champion, wrestling out of Round Rock, Texas, please welcome Jason
Does that remind you of Sting? Did you guys used to watch WCW? He's not coming from the rafters, but he's coming from the concession stands, and I gotta tell you, that's pretty cool. That's a good look. Hey, let me tell you, this is a true story. I just saw Knoll during the warm-up. I said, I heard you got a new opponent. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, I don't know the guy. Is any good? I said, well, yeah, Jason, he's pretty damn good.
Jason Knoll, one of the all-time greats for Cael Sanderson at Penn State. A 4-time finalist for the Nittany Lions. He captured 3 titles. 2-time Big Ten champ. He is 1-1 at RAF. A win over Andy Varela, 10-0 at RAF 04. Back at RAF 01, he lost in a barn burner to Evan Wick, 10-8. And one thing we know, Chael, with Jason Knoll, he's super creative, comfortable in all positions, can score a ton of points. He's tricky.
Well, a quick tie-in here, so we're going to see Kyle Dake later tonight. Knoll in with a shot. He needs to get to both legs to convert here to points.
Looking for the treetop, kicks it right out, and the push.
That's going to be one, just one
and
for a step out. 1 point, wow, and this David can scramble. Knoll had him. David came out with 1 point there. He can scramble. Hey, I want to do a quick tie-in. So Jason Knoll was in the final wrestle-off for the Olympic team. He lost that spot to who we're going to see later tonight, Kid Dynamite Kyle Dake.
Nice.
To make that spot, Jason Knoll beat Jordan Burroughs. So when you talk about the best of the best, you're looking at him right now. And this old David, who I've only known for about 30 seconds, Juliana, he looks like he can wrestle.
Ooh, yes, he can, and he's up for the challenge. Jason Knoll had the most exciting matchup against Evan Wick for RAF 1. It looks like he might pass that up and exceed expectations because this is already getting off to an amazing start. Jason Knoll so quick.
But I would say it's a really good start for Mitsulov to only be down 2-0.
I agree. He was dead to rights on that takedown. He was dead to rights on this exposure. By the way, for the audience at home, what we just witnessed is what's known as a push out, but from the parterre position. All right, I'm going to come back to that later. Knoll, he converts this one for 2.
Is he going to get this gut wrench for the second attempt? Let's see if he goes for it. He's
going to load up his hips, roll it through. This is big time trouble for Mitsulov. He's got him tight on a high gut, up 6-0. The exposure for 2 more makes it 8. 2 more points, and this one is over.
What's up, everybody? Want to stand or sit? Okay. Couple deep breaths for me. 3 pillars. Get back to resets. Okay, we're getting him on the barrier, then we're...
But does he know the freestyle rule set as well as Jason Knoll?
The rules aren't going to save him right now, Juliana. The rules aren't going to save him. He's down 8-0.
Yeah, you got to go for broke.
David's yet to mount an offense, and it really isn't his fault. It's because Knoll has been so aggressive. This is David's chance. Show us. Can you get to a single? Can you get to a double?
Want to wish his wife, Maddie Knoll, she turns 30 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Maddie.
Jason turning 30 this past January. They have a young daughter. They brought her to Tampa. And her dad is one tough dude. Knoll darts in on a single leg.
Gets the kick out again. That's over. It's a wrap.
And he's got the 2 on the edge. It is a technical superiority
for broke.
David's yet to mount an offense, and it really isn't his fault. It's because Knoll has been so aggressive. This is David's chance. Show us. Can you get to a single? Can you get to a double?
Want to wish his wife, Maddie Knoll, she turns 30 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Maddie.
Jason turning 30 this past January. They have a young daughter. They brought her to Tampa. And her dad is one tough dude. Knoll darts in on a single leg.
Gets the kick out again. That's over. It's a wrap.
And he's got the 2 on the edge. It is a technical superiority for Jason Knoll.
chair position, trying to get some offense there. Jason Knowles goes for it, gets that gut wrench. You know, goes for it again a second time. Another low single shot. To seal the deal, 10-0.
Jason Knowles, two-time U.S. Open champ, dominating tonight. Knowles was able to get to his offense.
Low
nice
single.
crisp shot.
Beautiful. Takes it back for two and ties up that gut wrench.
First period and a final score of 10 to 0.
Chair position, trying to get some offense there. Jason Knowles goes for it, gets that gut wrench. You know, goes for it again a second time. Another low single shot. Kicks out that back leg, that back tree top, gets him down for the two to seal the deal. 10-0.
Jason Knowles, two-time U.S. Open champ, dominant tonight.
Hey, some people want to make an entrance, by the way. That was very cool coming down from the rafters. How are you feeling right now?
I feel like that's my thing. I like getting the crowd involved. It's amazing down here in Tampa, so I just wanted to put on a show for the fans.
All right. Later tonight, one of your teammates, Kyle Schneider, is going to take on a fellow Olympic champion in Taz. How excited are you for that contest?
Kyle Snyder is one of my best friends, so
with our winner, Jason Knowles.
He's got to get this one back. He's going to go out and wrestle hard and have fun, and that's all he can do.
Your official prediction is Kyle Snyder.
Kyle Snyder, 100%.
That was very cool. And who should we look forward to seeing you take on next,
I feel like that's my thing. I like to get that match with Kozanov. It's amazing down here in Tampa, so I just wanted to put on a show for the fans. For the next event, planning out being out in
later tonight,
Philly,
one of your teammates,
month,
Kyle Schneider, is going to take on a fellow Olympic champion in Taz. How excited are you for that contest? Ladies and gentlemen, a happy
Snyder's one of my best friends, so he's got to get this one back. He's going to go out and wrestle hard and have fun, and that's all he can do.
Your official prediction is Kyle Snyder?
Kyle Snyder, 100%.
And who should we look forward to seeing you take on next, Jason?
Well, I'd like to get that match with Kozanov. So hopefully he's feeling better for the next event. Planning out being out in Philly next month, so want to stay active, keep competing, and become the RAF champ. Praise Jesus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a happy birthday to Jason Knowles. A happy birthday to Manny, who was turning 30 tomorrow. Give it up for your winner, Jason Knowles.
В прошлом видео я вам не сказал, за какую команду организацию мы играем. Мы представляем
Here
проект
inside the
TIK TOK.
Yingling Center in Tampa, electricity here at RAF 07. Still to come on this card, the Cruiserweight Championship. Four-time world champion Kyle Dake, four-time NCAA champion at four different weights against Parker Kekheisen, a three-time national finalist at Northern Iowa, captured the crown in 2024, and super impressive at RAF when he knocked off world champion Zahid Valencia. Our next stop is RAF 8 in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, PA. It's April 18th. RAF takes over the Liacouras Center, and we have an unreal ticket offer. Scan the QR code on your screen and receive a buy one, get one. That's right, buy one, get one offer for RAF 8. Be there in person to see Marab make his RAF debut against Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo. The only way to get that offer is to scan now. Can't wait for April 18th in Philly. RAF fans, Real American Beer just launched RAB Zero. Same bold Real American flavor, just without the alcohol. You can buy online today. Scan the QR code on your screen or head to the realamericanbeer.com and use code RABZERO for 10% off. Our next matchup, Kadir Sapudinov and Aiden Sinclair. Aiden Sinclair just left Cleveland a week ago when he captured third place at the NCAA Championships. Fun matchup with a pair of young hammers.
Next up, Real American Freestyle Cruiserweight Division. Please welcome Asia silver medalist, world bronze medalist, wrestling out of Bahrain, Kadir Saputinov.
Kadir Saputinov, born in Dagestan, Russia, part of the Abdul Rashid Sajalayev Wrestling Club. Dagestan, Russia, the best wrestlers in the world.
And his opponent, NCAA All-American, U20 National Champion from Columbia, Missouri, Aiden Sinclair.
Aiden Sinclair was in a Missouri singlet 1 week ago. He finished third in the NCAA. They interviewed him when he was done, and he said, I'm going out to Tampa for Real American Freestyle. I thought he was joking around. I thought he meant like to come and sit by us and be a fan. Turns out he's ready to wrestle.
A lot of the guys from last week, they're on spring break, getting some R&R, some rest and relaxation, but this is a guy, Juliana, that absolutely loves to wrestle. He's a product of the Ben Askren Wrestling Academies, and at that school, they preach opportunity, competing. You can learn a lot from competition.
Aiden Sinclair is such an amazing steward of the sport of wrestling. He's got such a great attitude. He's young. He's hungry. He looks amazing in that singlet, by the way. Thank you, Dustin Kawa. And I got to tell you, he is staying active, and that's what he loves to do. He literally says it over and over and over again. I love wrestling, and you can see that in the way that he wrestles. He's just full of life.
Looking for the takedown. He's got Saputinov on his hips, and he scores the first takedown. Just 25 seconds. And one thing, Shale, that he does a really good job of, he's a technical wizard, and he stays really patient in those positions.
And that's a lot of the Ben Askren system. A lot of that is the scrambles. It's the in-between. It's positions that other people don't take time to learn and understand. One thing I love about the college guys, I feel that their pace is superior to international wrestling. One big advantage that I'm going to see with Aiden Sinclair is his ability to push hard for 6 minutes. Don't forget, 1 week ago, his sport called for 7 minutes. This is actually a reduction, which means he's really going to be able to put his foot on the pedal.
He was 32-2 this season, third at 184, as you mentioned, and he's right back in on a single leg halfway into this first period. Works to his feet, improves his position, has that underhook as well.
And Kadir Saputinov is from Dagestan, but he transferred over to Bahrain, where he took that bronze. He's 22 years old, competing at 74 kilograms.
At those World Championships in Zagreb, lost to Levi Haynes. Also wrestled at the World Championships in October of 2024. He was 0-1. He's a two-time Senior Asian Championships medalist. A silver in 2025. Underhook there for Sinclair, short time. 15 ticks showing in this first period. Sinclair leading with the takedown. Collar tie left side, heavy snap there.
And if Sinclair gets it done, I wonder if he would like a rematch with Trent Hidley. Maybe he can find a tag team partner to go against Trent, because any of his losses has just been to absolute studs. Lost to Trent Hidley in the Open Finals last year. And I think it's fun to see these guys that you've already gone against and, you know, future matchups. That's just all I'm saying, future matchups.
I don't disagree. That would be a lot of fun. We'll see. I'm going to ask Aiden that question if I interview him after this match, see what he thinks about that. Here's the takedown. He had an opportunity to drive into him and try to get an exposure here. He kind of fought more of a collegiate mindset, get to, cover the hips, back on his feet. Very good aggressiveness by Aiden Sinclair. I hope he continues that in the next two periods.
Some good defense there from Saputinov to keep it a 2-0 match. Here we go in the second period. Sinclair, 2024 U20 Pan Am champion, U17 World Team member in 2023, wrestled in Turkey. Enjoys playing the piano. A man of many, many talents. He's interesting.
Like real piano, or are we talking like hop cross bond? Hop cross bond.
That's the recorder. That's the recorder.
Jill. Mary had a little lamb.
All right.
Nice underhook, trying to go for that knee tap, but nice counter defense from Aiden Sinclair. He is a counter specialist.
His only losses this season to Angelo Ferrari of Iowa, most recently in the quarters. But Chael, when you were an All-American, you won your final match, taking 5th place. You always want to get that odd number. He came back and stormed his way to 3rd place.
Yeah, not easy to do. It's the best guys in the world. They love to call it the national championship, but as the only country that contested, it's really for a world title. I think that this young man is so impressive. He was right there with Ferrari. You can do that match again, and he can get it. There's 2 points.
There's 2.
This will go right into his turn here.
Let's see if he can get this gut wrench.
Second takedown, one in the first, one in the second for Aiden Sinclair from Edgerton, Wisconsin. He was a 3-time Wisconsin State champion at Milton High School, wrestled for Pat Yauk.
Teammates with Keegan O'Toole, teammates at the club through the Askren Academy with Parker Kekkaisen, who we're going to see later tonight, going for a title against Kid Dynamite.
Askren Wrestling Academy has changed the game in Wisconsin. A lot of AWA guys around the country having a ton of success.
At just 20 years old this year, he was the number 2 seed at the NCAAs. And, we know that he was taking 3rd in the semifinals, but when they got done asking Aiden how he felt, he said, there's some seniors that would die for an opportunity to wrestle here. There are so many people that would just love the opportunity, and then you get some other guys that are like, oh, I don't want to do it, or they want to be lazy, but Aiden really seems to have his head on his shoulders correctly, because his attitude is just like, I get this opportunity, I get to wrestle, I am getting the chance to go compete right after this, after the NCAAs. Yeah, I took 3rd, but not that big of a deal. I get to wrestle every single day and do what I love, and that's why I love this kid, his spirit.
Who would not want to wrestle here? I mean, the energy, the music. I mean, you can hear this place just bouncing here in Tampa. RAF 07. Talked about it before. This product is sizzling, it's entertaining, and people want to see scraps, and that's what we're seeing.
For a guy that's known for being so funky, much like his coach, this was very good basics by the young Aiden Sinclair. Get to a single, get a hold, convert to a double, score your points, wait for the next exchange.
He was in on that single on that last 2, and then he peeked out real quick, took the back for that 2, and it was really quick. I would like to see him do that again. Just go for it. Right when you get that single, just peek out just like he did in that first period.
Gets to the leg again.
Kadir looks a little more hip to the game here. He's defending. You can tell he's using a lot of strength not to get this takedown.
Sinclair staying heavy, and he's going to score once again. Another takedown for Sinclair makes it 7-0.
Very strategic how he did that. He wanted to pop up. He wanted to drive in like in collegiate rules, but he knew if he got his hips a little high, he could get rolled through. He's very patient there.
He's been really patient this entire match, picking his spots. He's been just really executing on these attacks. Good position. He's kept Saputnov away from his legs. Saputnov on the board with that step out, 7-1.
And he's got 1 minute to come back into this match and try to get a win here, and you just got to build it one takedown at a time.
55 seconds remaining.
He's going for a step out again.
He's going to score that.
Nice.
7-2.
1 brick at a time.
If you're Sinclair, you want to control the mat, keep your butt to the center, take territory, don't let that underhook push you around.
And again, Aiden Sinclair is just a great counter specialist. Looking for the high crotch.
Good counter there from Sinclair, 9-2. Nice crowd here in Tampa inside the England Center.
This corner is asking for one more takedown for a technical fall. See if he can tech him here.
He's up by 7. 10 points is a technical superiority. Single leg here from Saputnov. Looking for his first takedown, and he's got it to make it 9-4, but
a little too late.
Little too late as time is going to expire. 9-4 for Aiden Sinclair as he knocks off the bronze medalist from the 2025 World Championships at 79 kilos. It's been an exciting couple of weeks for Aiden Sinclair. defense there from the Missouri Tiger. Sinclair scoring a couple of takedowns. And he is victorious on this Saturday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 periods of the final score of 9-4, your winner,
Aiden Sinclair with the bad guy, Chael Sonnen. As Aiden gets the USA chance, he's fired up.
Oh, tell him, young Aiden, how are you feeling right now?
I feel great. I'm ready for another.
1 week ago, I caught you wrestling in the NCAA tournament, and now we see you doing freestyle. How's it feel to be a two-sport athlete?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm an every sport athlete. Ask the guys. When I play handball in the room, kickball, I'm a different breed.
Aiden, if you got to make your next match for Real American Freestyle, who would you like to face?
Give me anyone. Do like no holds bar. Tag them in one after another. Let's go!
Your longtime teammate, Parker Ketkaizen, is going to be given a shot at the title in a number of minutes here. He's taking on Kyle Dake. How do you see that contest?
Dude, Parker Ketkaizen all the way. Askren Wrestling Academy, baby. Ben Askren, Max Askren. That's how we do it. Let's go!
Young man, you have caught fire. Give it up for the winner, Aiden Sinclair.
Aiden Sinclair, victorious here in Tampa just a week ago, captured third place at the national tournament in Cleveland. A guy that loves to wrestle. Still to come, our main events, our co-main events. Kobe Covington, an All-American at Oregon State, and Dylan Dennis, catchweight at 200 pounds. And then our main events, the rematch. Armon Tsarukyan and Giorgio Pullas. And earlier today, the fans got to hang out with the athletes from RAF 07. Great experience for the fans. Know the athletes appreciate it. Great to see that fan interaction. And with more on the Fan Fest, Abby Hornacek.
Yeah, that Fan Fest, again, was so much fun. And I talked earlier about the unprecedented access that these kids, these fans get to the athletes. And one lucky fan from the Fan Fest will get to walk this ramp, the red carpet, with their favorite wrestler. If it's a little girl, she walks out with Kennedy Blades. And if it's a little boy, he will walk out with Wyatt Hendrickson. So both amazing options. Just imagine being a kid, looking around at the stands, being used to being a fan in the stands, but getting that opportunity with one of these wrestlers. Pretty spectacular. So we're going to look forward to that. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the RAF leaderboard. The next 3 matches feature 3 wrestlers currently at the top. Bo Bassett is the leader with the fastest pin and the most exposures in a match. Kennedy Blades tied for the lead with the most takedowns in a match. And Wyatt Hendrickson holds the record so far with the largest margin of victory. So that's just such a spectacular moment. Very special treat for fans. And Shane, now it's time to see if Bo Bassett can add another category to that list.
Check out that suplex from Kennedy Blades. Tell you what, Abby Hornacek, welcome to wrestling. You talk about courage.
She sold that. I thought she was awesome. I told her good job earlier. She said she felt like a celebrity, that everybody was coming up. She was more recognized for that than anything else she had done.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I would volunteer to get suplexed by Kennedy Blades.
Hey, Tampa, who else wants a shirt? In the fan zone.
Tonight, the 20-year-old phenom, 170 and 0 in his high school career, 2-0 here at RAF, looks to further further build on his growing mythology. It is Bo Bassett and Vladimir Kinchigashvili, who turns 35 next month.
We not only appreciate the kid, we appreciate the parent.
Bo Bassett. What's up? You're considered like the next generational talent in wrestling. You're undefeated in RAF, but now you face a former Olympic gold medalist. How do you feel about that challenge?
Yeah, well, I love wrestling. I love an opportunity, and this is one of the biggest opportunities I've ever had in my entire life. An Olympic gold medalist. I'm huge on chasing out lions, chasing down challenges, and this is probably one of the biggest ones I've ever faced, so I'm excited. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks.
The USA chants here inside the Yingling Center for three-time Pennsylvania State champion Bo Bassett.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is in the Real American Freestyle Featherweight Division. Please welcome world champion, Olympic silver medalist, Olympic gold medalist, representing the country of Georgia. Here is Vladimir Kinchigashvili.
Bo Bassett dreams of being Olympic champion. Many people believe Bo Bassett can go on and be Olympic champion, but this young man is the Olympic champion. Gold medalist right there. 2 trips to the finals, 1 gold, 1 silver. This is the biggest test of Bo's career to date.
And when he won that gold medal in the Olympics, Bo Bassett was only not 10 years old. That's just the age discrepancy that you're about to see right now.
And his opponent, 3-time Pennsylvania State champion, 4-time Super 32 champion, cadet world champion, representing Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Bo Machine Gun Bassett.
Out of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Bo Bassett's machine gun mindset, chasing lions, a guy that loves the sport. And Bo Bassett, Chael, it is about pace, pace, and pace. It is a sprint from the opening whistle. It is a 100-meter dash for Bo Bassett.
2 weeks ago, I watched Bo win his final state championship, but this is a massive step up. Bo wrestling collegiate, wrestling under that high school rule set, taking on a guy that is full-time freestyle. It's very hard to say who the favorite is tonight.
Bo Bassett, 170-0 for the Bishop McCourt Crushers. 165 bonus point victories. This is Pennsylvania, the best high school wrestling state in the country, and right out of the gate, these two are scrapping.
You're good here, Bo. You're good here.
Made a commitment to Virginia Tech. Bo Bassett, machine gun, wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day. His dedication, pure grit. He's fast, but Lotto is definitely not going out without a fight. Is here to prove that he still got it.
Bo Bassett leading it 2-0, working on a gut wrench, and we'll bring him back to the center. Quick start for Bo Bassett.
Interesting score. You could have done that 2-2. You could have gone 2 the other way. Interesting score there. I don't know that I disagree. That all happened so fast.
Nice 2-on-1.
But as it
Lotto.
stands, 2 points for Bassett.
Kinchigashvili won the gold in 2016 at 57 kilos. Beat Ray Higuchi to stand atop the podium in Rio. That's going to be a step out as Bassett adds to his lead 3-0 and quickly hustles back to the center, waiting there like a rabid dog.
He touched his ankle. It looked like he kind of maybe rolled his ankle there. But did you guys know that Lotto is an actual member of the parliament in Georgia?
I read that on Wikipedia.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? This guy's a congressman. Well, what would be considered a congressman in the United States. But yes, a member of parliament in Georgia.
He's a 3-time world medalist. Gold in 2015 for Kinchigashvili. And you talk, Chael, about a hit list of tough guys. I mean, let's try that again. Kinchigashvili, he has knocked off a ton of world and Olympic champs.
Oh, yeah. No, I've watched this guy. I've watched this guy take out so many great people. There is youth. Youth does seem to favor Bo. I mean, right, it's a very fine line. At what point are you inexperienced? At Is your clock a little got too many miles on it? It's one of these interesting things. Look, Bo Bassett is going to go to Virginia Tech. I predict that he wrestles next year. Shane, the question I have for you, does he win the NCAA tournament?
That tournament, Chael, is so tough to win. A million things have to go right. One thing goes wrong. Bo Bassett gets behind. Two more. 5-1. A huge score inside of 15 seconds. Those short time scores are so big. Can he score again with 5 seconds to go? He's got the leg in right side, crossbody for Bassett. And a good first period for Bo Bassett, 5-1 after the opening 2 minutes.
But you get my proposition on it. How much would you like to see Bo Bassett take on Sergio Vega, just for example? How fun would that be to look forward to?
Sergio just won his NCAA champion 2 weeks ago. Not even, was it 2 weeks or was it last week?
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday, 1 week. To the
Bo
date.
Bassett, great career at Bishop McCourt.
Walk down memory lane. You know, they introduced him as a 3-time PA state champion. Is that stat true? I believe he won 4.
He won 3, did not wrestle at the state tournament as a freshman.
Injury. Wow.
Won the Ironman 4 times, 3-time Powerade champ, the 4-time Super 32 champion.
When you've won so many state titles that the announcers have lost track, I think that's a pretty good sign.
I think you are looking in Bo Bassett like a wrestler who's going to be dominating for the next decade easily. He has just got so much momentum coming into RAF and just in his career. A little sportsmanship there between Lotto and Bo Bassett.
It's simply the pace. His opponent wants to be upset, but he's looking at it going, hey, you're not doing anything but wrestling. You're just wrestling really hard.
Yeah.
And Bo is. I mean, this really is an amazing pace. There's another one. That should be 1. How are they going to score?
Maybe 4.
The judgment there is that the action was in motion.
4 was delivered.
It was 4 confirmed, so 9-1. And look at Bo Bassett. He is a takedown away, moving his hands up, getting this crowd in the USA chants. Just so heavy with his hands.
And this has happened to wrestlers in the past where they come into RAF for the first time thinking it's going to be something else, and then they, hello, welcome to RAF, you're in a whole nother world now. Looking to kick over. And he looks to getting pinned right here. Bo can pin him.
Looking to pin an Olympic champion. It is instead going to be a
we are all done. We are all done here.
It was 11-1. Technical superiority for Bo Bassett.
11-1, 13-3. The bottom line is that is a technical fall, and Bo Bassett just beat an Olympic gold medalist.
He'll wrestle at Virginia Tech. Lots of excitement with that Hokie program, and a lot of offense, Juliana. It was pedal to the metal the entire time. He's a sprinter.
The reason why everybody should be looking up to Bo Bassett is because he wrestles the entire time. The second that bell rings, he comes out guns blazing. He does not stop, and that is why they call him the machine gun. He is all pressure all the time, wrestling in all positions all the time. He is an absolute inspiration, and like I said, he's going to be dominating the wrestling scene for the next 10 years easily.
A suffocating pace on display from Bo Bassett.
The match ends at 1 minute 3 seconds left in period number 2. A final score of 13-3. Your winner by technical fall, Bo Machine Gun Bassett.
And Chael is with
Bo Bassett, you did not just beat the Olympic champion, you finished him. How are you feeling right now?
I feel outstanding. I'm so grateful. Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, the life. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my dad and my brothers. Shout out to the Hokies on the screen. This one was for my family. Thanks.
Bo, there's so much conversation on what's going to be next for you. I know that Real Woods is somebody that is looming in the back, if you will. How do you feel about a potential matchup, you and Real Woods?
I got a lot of respect for Real, but I'm going to wrestle him at Final X. So I want to wrestle Henry, and I have too much respect to ever call him out. But you guys want to see Henry Cejudo next? Let's go. Let's go.
I think they like your idea maybe more than I like mine. Bo, let me put you on the spot. Next year, are you going to redshirt?
Yeah, Coach Roby, Freyer, Tonelli, Coach Hahn, Coach Latone are watching, but those are my guys and their family. I love those guys, so I'm going to do whatever they need, and I'm all in. All in.
Armand versus Giorgio. It's going to be our last match of the night. Give me a prediction.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be fireworks. We're going to be mat side for that. And my last shout out to Jesus Christ, the way, the truth, the life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Machine Gun Mindset, give it up for Bo Bassett.
Bo Bassett's super impressive as he knocks off the 2016 Olympic champion from Rio, Vladimir Pinchigashvili. Ryan Blackwell won a couple of North Carolina state titles, an academic All-American at UNC Pembroke, and awarded the Purple Heart for Valor and Navy and Marine Corps medal. The sport doesn't remember everyone, but it never forgets the ones who changed it. And at Real American Freestyle, legacy lives forever. Tonight, we honor the legend of Ryan Blackwell.
In this sport, you don't last long without grit.
Wrestling is life.
You don't survive without heart.
When he sets his mind to something, it happens.
Ryan Blackwell has always been defined by one thing.
Knowing that how I practice is how I'm going to perform and compete, you got to show up and be ready.
Resilience. Ryan answered a different call when he joined the United States Navy.
I came from a military family. My father was prior service, my grandfather prior service, both in the Navy. The Navy just felt like a right fit for me.
Team before self, mission first.
Once I was stationed here in Pensacola, Florida, I became part of this program where I was to work with foreign students as they were acclimating to our culture. I guess you can say North Carolina raised me, Florida made me.
In an instant, everything he built hung in the balance.
On December 6, 2019, I arrived to work at 5:30 in the morning. Shortly after that, we heard gunshots going off and there was an active shooter threat, and we were the next target. I had stood up, I had told one of my colleagues to secure the door, get behind me, and to call 911. I had called my captain to let him know that there was an active shooter not to enter the building. And as soon as I had made that phone call, the shooter was at my office and he shot through my office door and it struck me in my arm.
When he was shot, the world stopped.
I dropped my phone and I rotated towards a female that was behind me, and I had used my body kind of as a wall and it had protected her, but I was shot 5 more times. I remember falling over, holding my head, just thinking, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And then all of a sudden I felt the most peace I've ever had in my life.
But wrestlers understand something most don't. You don't lose when you get taken down. You lose when you stay there.
And then right when I was starting to drift away, I could hear my phone. It was just saying, Blackwell, Blackwell, are you still there? And I was able to snap back in. It reminded me of wrestling. It reminded me of the third period where it's go time, it's short time on the clock, and I got to find a way to score. And that's kind of what it brought me back to. I got up and I ran to the back window, and then we jumped out of the window and we landed in the bushes. I went back to call my captain and said, sir, we need a ride. We need to get to the hospital now. When I had said that, one of the deputies said, you're not going to die on my watch. Get in the back of my cruiser.
I had one made up for shot. He was on the bed covered in blood. The doctor's coming in, the nurse is coming in.
I'm gonna have to have emergency surgery. Said a prayer and I just put it all on God and rolled into the OR and I woke up in the recovery ward.
Ryan Blackwell refused to stay down.
The goal was to walk out of the hospital because I had walked into the hospital. But that's when the real test began. I had partially paralyzed right arm. I had a colostomy bag.
It was just taking everything step by step, day by day.
When they did the investigation on the shooter, they found his ties to Al-Qaeda. The terrorist attack on December 6, 2019 was the first terrorist attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. That was carried out by a foreign national. Had an award ceremony where they had honored me with the Purple Heart and the Navy and Marine Corps Medal for Heroism, which is the highest non-combat award that you can receive. And now I feel like I'm making sure that that wasn't given in vain. What we have to offer here at WellTrain is using the sport of wrestling as that tool to give them the skills that saved my life.
Today, Real American Freestyle doesn't honor his achievements. We honor his fight.
I just did what I hope anybody would do given that situation. I didn't do it for the hero role. I did it to save my life and those around me so that I could go back to my family. And continue to serve the world with a purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome RAF Legends Champion, Ryan Blackwell. Once again, give it up for Ryan Blackwell.
So Chad Bronstein, Izzy Martinez, and Eric Bischoff present the Legends belt. Congratulations to Ryan Blackwell. An amazing story, and a big thanks to Ryan Blackwell, the past and current servicemen and women serving our great nation here in the United States and around the world. Heavyweight championship belt is on the line. Wyatt Hendrickson puts it on the line against Trent Hilger. Hendrickson, of course, that huge upset last March in Philly when he knocked off Gable Steveson. And Trent Hilger, a four-time All-American at Wisconsin. So now the reigning RAF World Champion and famed Gable Steveson Slayer meets Trent Hilger in an explosive battle of wills.
Thanks. Mike, third fight with RAF. What's your opponent got to worry about?
Yeah, this is my third Real American Freestyle event, and the first two have gone my way. I'm looking for the same result the third time. I'm facing Trent Hilger, very good wrestler. Last time we wrestled, 34 points were on the board, so he got a couple throws on me. He actually threw me for 5, so I got to get him back. I'm going to go big this time.
What's a headline that's going to play in the newspaper after this fight?
Well, it's not really breaking news. I think everyone's expecting me to win, but it might be like, oh my gosh, like Hendrickson goes 2 back-to-back 5-point moves to secure his championship belt. And like I've said before, this is my belt. It's staying with me. It's not going anywhere.
Trent, at Final X recently, you nearly beat Wyatt Hendrickson. What makes you think you beat him this time?
I mean, I know I'm better on my feet than he is, so can't let him take me down, but if we stay on our feet, I'm going to beat him.
You have a different strategy this time?
Oh, yeah. I got a different strategy, but we're going to keep that until the match.
If there's one thing you can tell Wyatt Hendrickson, look at the camera phone right now.
I mean, come on, man. The belt's coming to me. You know I'm better on my feet, and we're going to keep it.
Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is for the Real American Freestyle Heavyweight World Championship. Please welcome Trent Hilger.
Trent Hilger from Holly, Michigan. You heard Wyatt talk about it. They met in Final X. Hendrickson won the first match 10-0 and then won the second one 20-14. These two big guys exhausted the scoreboard and lit it up for 34 points.
And being escorted to the mat by RAF Fan Zone winner, 10-year-old Leo Gura, your RAF Heavyweight World Champion, Wyatt Hendrickson.
Captain America, the biggest upset in NCAA history is when Wyatt Hendrickson took out Gable Steveson 1 year and 1 week ago to this day. By
is this? This is 10-year-old Leah Guerra. He won the RAF raffle earlier today at the Fan Zone. That was such a cool deal with the athletes and the young fans getting to meet their heroes. Wyatt Hendrickson, the RAF champion, the first of 4 championship matches here in Tampa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are scheduled for 3 periods for the RAF Heavyweight World Championship. Introducing your challenger first on my right. He weighed in at 248.2 pounds, a 4-time NCAA All-American, a U.S. Senior National Team member, and a U.S. Senior World Team Trials Champion, wrestling out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Introducing Trent Hilger. His opponent across the mat, he weighed in at 258.4 pounds. He is a Hodge Trophy winner and NCAA National Champion. He is the reigning, defending, undisputed, real American freestyle heavyweight champion of the world. Presenting from Newton, Kansas, Wyatt Captain America Hendrickson!
Wyatt Hendrickson won that national title for David Taylor and the Cowboys, and then the Hodge Trophy winner, 3rd in Oklahoma State history, joined Steve Mocco and Alex Derringer. Began his career at the United States Air Force Academy, where he was a 2-time All-American for Sam Barber and the Falcons. Back to it. What are you looking forward to, Chael, in this heavyweight showdown?
I'll tell you, I watched their big famous match where they put up 34 points, and one thing about it, they both had the ability to gut-wrench the other. That specific technique, though, from the parterre position on top, it was almost like a kryptonite, but to both athletes, whoever got on top more is who ended up winning that contest.
What are you looking for, Juliana?
I'll tell you what, these are not your grandpa's heavyweights. These guys move so agile. They are quick. They're like cats. They're fast. And I'm looking forward to Trent, 4-time All-American from Wisconsin, making his RAF debut to do something with this opportunity that he's been given, because Wyatt is very confident that that belt is staying home with him.
These guys met in the national tournament in 2021. It was in the blood round, and Hilger knocked off Hendrickson. At the U.S. Open last year, it was 10-4 in favor of Hendrickson. Might have misspoke. It was Hilger. Did I say Hilger won in 2021 in the blood round?
Yep.
And Hilger, you mentioned, Chael, that we signed Gable Stevenson. Gable needed a training partner, and Minnesota, the Gopher Wrestling Club, paid Trent to come in and be his partner, and his skill set got a lot better. You know, in their match with Wyatt at Final X last June, you know, he lost, but he has definitely, he didn't make it easy. He's gotten a lot better since training with Gable. But at the press conference yesterday, he said, after I fight Wyatt, I want to fight, and I want to go up against Gable Stevenson. I was like, with friends like these, who needs enemies?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Careful what you ask for. Hey, by the way, in that parterre exchange, Wyatt stayed below the waist, like he was looking for a leg lace, when the big opportunity in his last match with Trent was above the waist in the gut wrench. We'll see if he gets back there, if he makes that same choice.
4-0, 15 seconds first period. The first of 4 championship matches here at RAF 07. Shane Sparks, Juliana Pena, and the bad guy, Chael Sonnen, Matt Side, here inside the England Center. And the first period is in the book, 4-0. In the corner is Troy Steiner for Trent Hilger, and right now I want to talk about Jay Robinson, the legendary coach at the University of Minnesota. Our thoughts are with Jay Robinson. He's battling some health issues, and one of the legends, one of the great ones, Jay Robinson. Wyatt Hendrickson from Newton, Kansas. U23 world champ in 2023. At RAF 04, he beat Mason Paris 13-2. in a matchup of national champions and Dan Hodge Trophy winners. There's a shot from Hilger, but against a guy like Hendrickson, Chael, you cannot get caught underneath those hips.
Yeah, and Hilger's scrambling with them. Hilger really moves very well. To Juliana's point earlier, like for big guys, they never seem to slow down when you get to this level. And how tough being Wyatt, by the way. You're walking around, you're the NCAA champ, you're the Real American Freestyle champ, but people are still talking about Gable Steveson. It's one of those things where sometimes you prove it, but you got to prove it twice.
And speaking of proving it, you know, I know Gable is just an absolute phenom, but I predict that he will not take a challenge against Wyatt right off the bat when we see him coming in and making his RAF debut. I don't think he will.
And maybe we could even argue, does he have the right to? I mean, maybe Gable, like anybody else, has got to come in, start like a contender, and work your way up. This is the champ we're staring at after all.
And for a long time, Gable seemed like the Moby Dick, like the whale we just couldn't catch, and then we finally got him. So it's so exciting to see where he's going to be placed inside of this division.
In this sport, you guys understand this better than me, being in that octagon. Nobody is safe. Things happen quickly. Everybody is beatable at this level.
Yes, and speaking of beatable, Trent is that challenger built to test Wyatt. I would like to see him get some offense off, though. He's got to go here. We're in the second period. There's 40 seconds left. That's still a lot of wrestling time in the third period and the end of this second period, but he's got to do something.
Chael, if you are Hilger against a guy like Hendrickson, how do you get an angle?
Well, and that's what's most important, whether he's going to do that with an arm drag or he's going to snap him. One thing that Trent's doing is he appears to have a bit of a defensive mindset here. He's kind of standing his ground and just waiting for Wyatt to attack, hoping maybe he can cause a scramble or get an exposure. He's going to have to get on top, and he's going to have to look for that gut wrench. And by the way, he's going to need to do it in the next 15 seconds.
10 seconds remaining in this second period.
But I'm not seeing an urgency is my point to this on Hilger. It's almost like he's complacent and he's waiting. I don't know if that's strategy and he's going to open up in the third round, but his offense has never really got going in this match.
6-0 after 4 minutes.
And a lot of nice camaraderie between these gentlemen yesterday. You saw them talking the trash, but then they gave each other a hug and, you know, kind of going back and forth with razzing each other, but they seem to be in good spirits with one another.
That is Lee Roper, assistant coach for the Cowboys, Oklahoma State, a runner-up to the Nittany Lions last weekend in Cleveland. And you look at the reflexes, that quickness. You talked about it, Juliana. These guys are like cats, and you see that speed from Wyatt Hendrickson.
I think Wyatt's confidence, too, is just soaring. Each match that we see him in, his confidence just seems to build higher and higher, and I'm happy to see that for him.
And Chael, a good start to 2026 for Hendrickson. He's already medaled at a couple UWW ranking series events, trying to set himself up at the World Championships.
Yeah, good re-attack right there.
Let's score here. Attack it.
Hilger's going to need to move. Look, a snap down is an option. Step to the side, convert to a single. Trent is generally a little more active. There's a good shot.
Beautiful shot. Let's see if he can finish it. Can't sit that pocket. Nice sprawl, heavy hips.
Look at
Wyatt.
those hips, just feeding him.
Looking for the go behind for two.
And that's one thing, particularly at heavyweight. When you get to a single, you got to convert to a double right away. You don't want to start battling the weight in those hips. Trent waited about a second too long.
It's not a waiting position.
Chael, speak to the importance of growing up freestyle wrestling and how it helps your folk style with those quick finishes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, as they say, as Bo Bassett put it a moment ago, wrestling is wrestling, but you do sense that urgency. You do understand where sometimes you can't wait around. You don't want to stalemate a position. You've got to score right now, protect your back at all times.
And you don't want to get in big scrambles in freestyle. That can end bad.
Yeah, that can give up some points there. I think that Trent might coincidentally be looking for a scramble here tonight. I don't want to be too hard on Higler. I've only seen great moments from him. It's just in this particular match, I'm not seeing him really get to those legs. All right, that was a step out. Captain America sprawled backwards, but he sprawled a little bit too far.
Oh, so he gets one.
So Hilger is on the board.
He hit that high crotch, and he was finding success with it. Wyatt obviously has some amazing heavy hips, but he has to go back to that. He has to get his offense off.
50 seconds left.
Did I miss something? I'm seeing 2 points up on the board there for red. Did I miss something, or do we have a bit of a typo?
Ben White and 2 points for Hilger.
There, you can see his coach.
Since when he kicked out of that and dove out of bounds, the referee deemed that to be a fleeting action, and you heard Hilger's corner calling for a parterre start also, which the referees did not give him.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for that explanation, Ben. Ben Askren breaking down the rules for us. Front headlock. Look how tight this is from Hendrickson.
Way to drag out, Trent.
Nice job there to clear the tie. But Hilger needs a 600-foot home run with 10 seconds left, and it is not going to happen against Wyatt Hendrickson.
And just humor me for education's sake. So we've got one for a step up. We have an additional one for a clean
Caution
hold.
in one, exactly.
All right, a double score. I don't know that I've seen that before.
Way to catch that.
6-2 the final score, and still Wyatt Hendrickson defends his RAF championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 periods and a final score of 6-2, your winner and still Real American Freestyle Heavyweight Champion of the World, Wyatt Captain America Hendrickson.
Chael is with Captain America.
And still, how does it feel, Captain America? It feels great. I'm very blessed. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing me with not only the great wrestling abilities, but here's what's even better. I have the most beautiful wife in the world. She's here tonight. I love you, Emily. She's a smoking hot redhead.
I have seen her, and she is a very beautiful woman. Now, I got to ask you, you're the champion, you're the NCAA champion, the #1 ranked guy in America, but there seems to keep on being talk about your old nemesis, who is a new signee, Gable Steveson. Tell me where that stands.
Let's give him a couple matches to warm up, get back into it, and I plan on seeing him here at RAF. But before that, there's a lot of conversation right now about, football and wrestling. I want to see some of the football players get up here. Tristan Wirfs, man, he's a big boy, but I want to challenge him here at RAF, baby. Where you at, boy?
As it turns out, I know where Tristan Wirfs is at. How are you, Tristan? Welcome to Real American Freestyle. You seem like you have something to say.
That's a big boy right there.
Sir, yes, sir. You're damn right. You're damn right. Listen, we know you beat Gable. We know you're Captain America. You ain't wrestled 340. I know the Bucks wouldn't have a problem with me whooping your ass.
I love Unlimited. We can get some big boys like this to get a real taste of wrestling. What do you guys think?
All right. Now, Tristan, I got to know. All right, hold on a second. I got to get to the bottom of this. Are we having some fun, or are you officially challenging our heavyweight champion?
I don't know. He called me out. What do we think? I don't think the Bucks have a problem with it. We'll get out here. I'll go get my singlet on. We'll scrap a little bit. I'll take that belt home with me.
Let's give him a shot. Let's do it, baby. I'm for it. I'm game. I accept.
Ladies and gentlemen, between Tristan Wirfs and Captain America, we'll have to see where that goes. But for tonight, please give it up for Wyatt Hendrickson.
Wyatt Hendrickson and Tristan Wirfs. That is one big boy, Juliana. 5-time Pro Bowler. He's an offensive lineman for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He wrestled in high school. He's from Iowa. You talk about some size. You talk about a couple alpha dogs.
That's all cap. He ain't coming. He ain't coming.
You can't teach 340, Juliana.
I know.
You can't teach 340.
Hey, my money's on Captain America. I think Wyatt's got that all day with his eyes closed. And
He made Wyatt Hendrickson chill. You were up there. He made Wyatt look small. That's like
one of the
me
biggest
standing
men
next
I've
to you.
ever seen. My goodness, he said he weighs 340. I believe him.
The main event still to come. Armon, Tsarukyan. The arrival here to the Yuengling Center. Tsarukyan, the #2 UFC lightweight contender, and Giorgio Pullas. Can you take him down? If you take him down, you get $1,000. Won the Ironman title earlier earlier we saw Bo Bassett, who won 4.
As wrestlers on the mat, during the match, you're trying to kill each other, you're trying to do whatever it takes to win. After the match, as martial artists, it should be automatic respect for one another, and that's just something he lacks.
No, I have no problem. If he was a man, I would have with him problem. But with like these guys, you can do something to him and he can cancel the fight, say, oh, I break my hand, I want to go this, I want to sue you, because he's kind of a tricky guy. So, and you gotta be careful like these guys. He's like a rat.
Царукян and Pullas in our main event. It is a packed house. The energy is palpable here in Tampa at RAF 07. A lot of young fans watching their wrestling heroes. Milana, Dudieva, and Kennedy Blades. Another belt is on the line. Kennedy Blades, fresh off of her second national championship at the University of Iowa.
I have to tell you, Kennedy Blades. Yep, Kennedy Blades, the busiest woman in wrestling. She is her. She's wrestling for Iowa Hawkeyes. She is getting a degree in management. She wrestles for USA Wrestling. She's the RAF champion, defending for the 3rd time tonight. She just won her world championship in the NCAAs, not world championship.
Kennedy until it's time to wrestle Kennedy. By the way, did you see her on Fox Nation? She souped old Abby yesterday, and I thought Abby took that like a real pro.
Yes, she did. That was impressive. Super impressive. But Kennedy Blades, there is winning and there is domination. Kennedy Blades, another title for the Hawkeyes. She was 19-0 this past season. She gave up 2 points all season. She was undefeated last season also. And here in RAF, she has a 10-0 technical superiority over Alara Boyd and 11-0 over Alejandro Rivera. She has been dominant.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're scheduled for 3 periods for the Real American Freestyle Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing your challenger first. She weighed in at 148.6 pounds. She is an Invicta Fighting Championship veteran, a UFC veteran, wrestling out of Chicago, Illinois. Introducing Milana Dudieva. Her opponent across the mat on my left, weighed in at 149.2 pounds. She is a 4-time national champion, an Olympic silver medalist. She is the reigning, defending, undisputed Real American Freestyle Middleweight Champion of the World from Chicago,
85 to 115 is considered average in the US, and IQ of 115 to 145 is considered high, and an IQ 145 is considered genius. Are you curious to know where you stack up? You can take this 2-minute IQ test. That will give you detailed results on your IQ score and cognitive skills.
Chest. Oh, she was looking for the head and arm throw there, but nice hips by Kennedy Blades. She does not get thrown.
They asked Kennedy Blades at the press conference, what happens if this turns into MMA? And we all thought that Kennedy would kind of back down. She said, my father taught us how to fight. She said, I'm all about it if that's what she wants to do. She said it with a big smile, so it was hard to know how she meant it, but she's always smiling. She was smiling when she threw Abby on her head last night.
I would say this, Chael. With Dudieva, I like the mindset coming out. You're probably not going to score a bunch of points in different sequences. If you're going to be Kennedy Blades, you better hit a home run if you're Dudieva.
That's exactly right.
Now, one of the things that I noticed is that, you know, Kennedy was saying, if she kicks me and punches me, I'm going to kick and punch back. I thought, Milana's a sweetheart. She would never kick and punch you in a wrestling match. She knows the rules.
But what makes her tough?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, whenever I'm training with Milana, it's almost as if she wants to take me down, she'll take me down, like, immediately. And her judo is so good. And so I told her that, you know, and this is where it puts me in between a rock and a hard spot. I also trained with Kennedy, and I know how nice she is. I know she's Izzy's girl, and she's a sweetheart. So I was just only trying to help out the promotion to get somebody that was willing enough to get inside and match up against Kennedy, because nobody wants to do it. So, of course, I you know, volunteered my girl Milana, but I think Kennedy's a little bit mad at me this week because she
look at this straight on double!
Great job by Melania keeping her chest down. She gives up 2, but most people would have given up 4.
But right into a gut wrench. 6-0 for Kennedy Blades.
That is such a beautiful double when she hits that, by the way.
That was incredible. That's another gear.
When you got those long arms, there's no reason to not use them. Hey, by the way, Jules, when we're looking at Melania here, I would think that she would want to tie up to use some more of that judo, but she hasn't forced the tie. What am I missing?
I think that she was waiting for her to sprawl and defend the takedown, but I think that, again, like you said, Kennedy, there it is, she shoots right out of a cannon, you know what I mean? And I think that this gut wrench is going to come inbounds. It's not going to go out of bounds.
Looking for the exposure on the edge in a 9-0 match.
Yeah, she just shoots right out of a cannon there, and it's so quick you can't stop it.
9-0 after the first period. A lot of offense from Kennedy Blades.
Nice little ankle pick there. She did a great job of not getting thrown there. That was Milana's bread and butter, is that head and arm, and she didn't fall for it.
There's
right
that double leg.
Beautiful double leg. I mean, that's textbook.
I admire the defense. I mean, Milana would have gone feet to back. Most athletes would have gone feet to back. She did a good job of getting her chest down and only exposing 2, which, by the way, would make the difference in this match, seeing this round or being finished in a tech fall.
Well, she's only got 1 more, and that tech fall's coming.
Kennedy Blades up 9-0, 1 more score, and it will be a technical superiority. We are early second period.
Milana's got to go for a shot. She's got to get some offense off. Come on, girl.
Here's a single leg. There's a trip, and the finish, and this one is over. 11-0 for Kennedy Blades, a little extracurricular.
Why didn't they call it sooner? That was rude.
Kennedy Blades has yet to have been scored on at RAF. And here is that final takedown. Single leg, nice back trip and a cover for 2.
Milana thought she was going to go for a double again, and she tricked her, went single. That was nicely done by Kennedy Blades. Gets that extra throw in. She's wrestling out there, man. She is the best, the busiest, and the best for a reason. Kennedy Blades gets it done by technical fall against Milana Dudieva.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match ends with 1 minute and 46 seconds in period number 2 with a final score of 11-0. Your winner by technical fall and still Real American Freestyle Middleweight Champion of the World, Kennedy Blades!
Hulk Hogan presenting the championship belt to Kennedy Blades, the son of the late, great Hulk Hogan. And the middleweight champion is with Chael.
And still, Kennedy, it's hard to find opponents for you, particularly when you run through them so quickly. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling very blessed, and I just want to give all glory to Christ. You know, guys, he loves you. I love him so much, and I'm excited. At the end of the day, no matter what happens in life, I know I won because Christ is with me.
Champ, let me ask you a question. In just a moment, Olympic champion Schneider is going to face Olympic champion Taz. How does that match play out?
Oh, shoot. Honestly, I mean, I got to go with Kyle Snyder. He's awesome. I looked up to him since I was a little girl, so I got Kyle.
Kennedy, you're always fun to watch. Who would you like to see next?
I mean,
traveling the world, don't know how to get around or how to do it on a budget? 1-2-Go will get you to your destination at the touch of a button on your smartphone, offering you airport transfers, booking bus tickets to your next intended destination, finding you the best of old-school train journeys with scenic views and sights. We will also help you grab a regional flight, or even book you onto a ferry to your Paradise Island escape. 1-2-Go offers various means of transportation to get you to your desired destination anywhere. Book your tickets fast and easy via your smartphone. Pay by card via PayPal or local payment methods. Visit 1-2-Go and start your next great travel adventure right now.
It's a ton of offense from Kennedy Blades. Play RAF for cash. Make picks on the number of takedowns for a chance to win. Scan the flow code or use code FREESTYLE to get an exclusive bonus and make your picks. Abby Hornacek with a special guest.
That's right. You guys all recognize Leo from earlier on. He walked out with Wyatt Hendrickson. What was that like? You were walking around the mat with his belt on his shoulder. He had his arm around you. What was going through your mind?
It was amazing, and I was a little bit shy, but it was fun.
Dad, was this your idea?
Well, we came to the fan zone, and he won the raffle to work out with him, and it's just super excited to be here.
All right, Leo. Wyatt obviously won that. He defended the title. You walked out with him. Do you think you were his good luck charm?
Yeah.
Absolutely. What did you talk to him about while you were backstage waiting to walk on?
I was just talking, he told me not to be shy, yeah.
Do you think that is the best advice that he's given you? Don't be shy. Do you feel shy now? You're doing great.
No, I don't feel shy anymore.
Yeah, guys, give it up for Leo, right? Amazing. All right, where would you rank this in life experiences?
10 out of 10.
That is incredible. Well, congratulations on winning. You think you'll have a Wyatt Hendrickson poster on your wall for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And Dad of the Year, amazing. Both of you guys, thank you so much. Are you excited for the main card?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone give it up for Leo and Miner, his dad. Shane, what else you got for us?
Well, and give it up for the dentist, Abby Hornacek there, right? They're not all home runs. Even Babe Ruth struck out sometimes.
But what a cool experience. I mean, it's what it's all about. I mean, you have your son here. I mean, that is so cool. It's about bringing families together. Absolutely. Co-main events. Colby Chaos Covington, former interim UFC welterweight champion of the world and All-American at Oregon State. The Oregon native. It is all business. And Dylan Dennis, a little bit of everything. And looking forward to that matchup as they have both arrived here in Tampa. Tonight, two of the most colorful and best-known names in recent MMA history face-to-face in their Real American Freestyle debuts.
Yeah, so I'm fighting Dylan Dennis on Saturday night at the Yuengling Center, only on Fox Nation. It's going to be a spectacle. You know, Dylan's a world champion grappler. He wrestled in high school. He's a tough guy. You know, he's been living in the shadows of Conor McGregor for a long time. you know, he's a clout chaser. He loves to chase clout. He wants to be famous so bad. And it just so happens that I'm a charitable guy. I'm going to make him famous on Saturday night when I put him on my highlight reel.
Kobe could say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, when we look in the eyes, you can see through him, man, and he knows that I'm the king. And I could see that he knows who's the top dog. And you just see it. I just know. It's something you just tell. You can tell by the shoulders. You can tell by the body positioning. You can tell when he's trying to catch himself with his body. Yeah, he knows who's the real dog here and who's the killer.
Fans here inside the Yuengling Center, Tampa, Florida, RAF 07. Light heavyweight championship match. I've been waiting all night for this one. It's a battle of Olympic champions. Ahmed Tazhudinov, just 23 years old, and the veteran Kyle Snyder, he is 30 years old, the 10-time world and Olympic medalist. Now the man who became the youngest wrestler in history to win an NCAA title, World Championship, and Olympic gold medal in the same year makes his RAF debut.
Well then, who is Snyder Man?
Who's Snyder Man? Yeah, good question. I think that's the competitor. I want to dominate my opponents, and that's what I train to do, so.
One of the great American wrestlers, Kyle Snyder, back on top of the world.
I think just a simple guy, nothing too special about me. Ever since a kid, I've always been very competitive and loved to compete, and then I fell in love with wrestling, you know, like, it's all I wanted to do, and both my mom and dad, I mean, they really led by example, and we had a whiteboard in our garage, and we used to put different quotes and workouts on it, but there was one thing that never changed at the top. Was a note that my dad had written, and it said, "What have you done to get better today?" And we would go, every time we go outside, we'd see it, and that's something that's been instilled in me ever since I was a kid, is always improving and the discipline to work hard. You know, I really don't want much said about myself. I think I'm interested in God receiving all the glory and honor and praise, because it's Him who gave me the talent. It's Him who's strengthened me and given me the endurance to continue to compete and the love for the sport. So that's the legacy that I'm after. I'm competing because it's what I love to do. I want to wrestle the best guys because that's the greatest challenge. That's where you have to dig the deepest and where you learn the most about yourself. You know, March 28th with Tazhudinov, you know, I'm 0-2 against him. First time it was quick, you know, I maybe underestimated his ability, and the second time, you know, it was a better match at the Olympics, but he's a difficult wrestler to compete against because he's got excellent counterattacks, excellent defense. It's very dangerous when he gets to your leg. He's good on top. So I think just overall, he's a very well-skilled wrestler in every position. So he's a great challenge, and I love having people like that because it really motivates me.
Kyle Snyder, he's won it all, but as you heard him say, he is 0-2 against Tazhudinov. Will he be able to solve that puzzle tonight here in Tampa? A light heavyweight championship showdown, a pair of Olympic champs about to scrap here on RAF.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match is for the Real American Freestyle Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Please welcome Ahmed Tazhudinov.
Born in Russia, represents Bahrain, the Olympic champion in 2024, world champion in 2023. He beat Kyle Snyder en route to the top of the podium at both those events, and coming off a world bronze place finish in 2025, one of the bright young superstars in all of freestyle wrestling.
Все началось с одной мечты – сформировать культуру онлайн-шоппинга, даря всем свободу покупок. Мы перенесли онлайн в офлайн ради вашего спокойствия и комфорта. Мы автоматизировали процессы, чтобы сэкономить ваше время. Мы создали самую обширную сеть пунктов выдачи, чтобы быть еще ближе к вам. Фестивали, прямые рейсы, большие скидки. Мы доставили более 12 миллионов посылок. Нам доверяет более 1,4 миллиона клиентов. С вашей помощью мы доказали, что большую мечту можно превратить в реальность. Гловин. Все, что ты хотел. Все, что ты захочешь.
Snyder fell to Tazudinov 6-4 at the Olympics in 2024.
Here we go, Tampa, Florida. Wrestling fans watching all around the world exclusively on Fox Nation. We've got 3 periods for the Real American Freestyle Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first on my right, weighing in at 214.8 pounds, world champion, Olympic gold medalist, wrestling out of Dagestan, Russia. Introducing Ahmed Tazudinov. His opponent across the mat on my left, weighing at 214.4 pounds. He is a 3-time Big Ten champion, a Dan Hodge Trophy winner, a 3-time NCAA national champion, a 4-time world champion, an Olympic silver medalist, an Olympic gold medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Snyder! Your third man on the mat is Pete Weasley.
So here we go. The light heavyweight championship is up for grabs here at RAF 07. Tazudinov and Snyder.
Olympic champ versus Olympic champ.
On Taz, it's hard to find a knock on somebody as successful as this young man, but allow me to be critical because there does appear to be 2 things. First off is with the conditioning, but second, he scored most of his points in his first 2 meetings against Kyle Snyder defensively. He doesn't go out there and mount an offense, get to the legs, and convert. So that's something that Kyle Snyder, if he slows down, might be able to capitalize on.
Now, when I saw Tazudinov for the first time at RAF when he fought Tony Cassiope, I was expecting somebody to jump off the page and be an absolute phenom, and Cassiope gave him a problem, and I was like, I think Cassiope might win this thing. Little did we know that Tazudinov had a shoulder issue. He did get it scoped. He has had that surgery, and this is his first performance since then. So am I going to see a different Tazudinov that will jump off the page that's going to give Snyder more trouble again for the 3rd time?
But he still pinned Cassiope. That was at RAF 03 in Chicago.
Yeah, but it was close. I mean, Cassiope definitely performed a lot better than I think a lot of people were expecting.
Tazudinov won that world title in 2023. Hard to believe that dating back to 2015 at 97 kilos, the world champs were either Kyle Snyder or Abdul Rashid Sajalayev. But there is a new kid on the block.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He faced Kyle Snyder, beat Kyle Snyder, then he beat Sajalayev. I mean...
That, sorry to cut off your thought, was outstanding. Taz was headed for the out of bounds. He put the brakes on. He turned Snyder. He pushed Snyder out. That one point could be very telling at the end of this match. That was a very big deal that he planted his feet there. Shane, how did we go 1-1? There was 1 for the push out. Where did the 1-1? Was somebody on a shot clock?
Play in the hold, maybe?
If nobody is on the board with a minute left, somebody goes on the shot clock.
There must have been a shot clock that was simultaneous with that step out. The shot clock can sneak up on a guy every now and then, right? I mean, sometimes you don't know when they're on it.
Well, especially Chael here at RAF with the 3 2-minute periods. If it's 0-0, just 60 seconds in, somebody's on the clock, just really pushing the action. Want to see points on the board, and this one is 1-1 after the opening 2 minutes.
Oh, I hope we we get to see that push out again? That was amazing how Taz knew where he was, knew where to stop the action and reverse him. Watch this, Taz is going out. There's no way around it. He somehow puts the brakes on, turns Snyder, and actually gets Kyle Snyder to step out. That was incredibly tactical by Taz.
Incredible mat awareness and body control there from Tazudinov, two-time Asian champion. The winner is the RAF light heavyweight champion. On that single leg, once again, he was here back in the first period. But Tazudinov was able to get that single leg back. If you're Snyder, can you walk him towards the edge? And again, unable to capitalize. That's a really tough opportunity to squander.
Well, and that defense was such a problem for Kyle.
У каждой взрослой отрасли должна быть своя конференция.
Аудитория стала более экспертной, и она начала осознавать, о чем мы говорим.
Конференция делает уникальной то, что всегда можно найти что-то новое и что-то полезное, и точно так же поделиться собственным опытом, что положительно влияет на всех.
Киберспорт – это маркетинг. Маркетинг привлечения новой аудитории в компьютерные клубы.
Индустрия развивается семейными шагами, и компания LAN-Game растет кратно.
Подрастает уровень индустрии, и, собственно, это показывает то, что конференцию мы делаем не зря.
50% конференции, а может быть уже и все, 70% это вы.